Today we are speaking with two of the people behind the new festival Good2U. Good2U is a festival for cutting-edge electronic music curated by Hardwax Jamor and Paloma's Tom Heffele. And today I'm meeting with Jamor and Dominic to speak more about the vision and drive behind it. This new 800 capacity festival is launching in Germany's Saxony region and will take place from the 19th till the 23rd of August. See you there! Actually, I just want to dive right in. Could you both tell me about your backgrounds and start off like that?
Sure.
Or like musical backgrounds and your musical journeys overall.
I'm Dominic. I grew up in Bavaria, in a more rural area, and was so much into music since ever, I think. I started DJing when I was 16 with a friend from school, and that's how I got in contact with electronic music. Then I didn't really know a lot about the club culture behind that because there was obviously no club culture in my area. And the first time I got in touch with that was when I went to Berlin to visit a friend and somehow bumped into Loftus Hall, club in Kreuzberg that's not open anymore, and experienced my first club night in Berlin.
What was that like?
Pretty intense, magical night. I met many nice people, which was very new to me, that people are so open. And immediately fell in love with the club culture behind that, because before that, I only knew other parties, more commercial parties, no real parties, in my opinion. So that's how I got in touch with the club culture behind electronic music, and several parties, several festivals, and years later, I moved to Berlin. That was like 7 years ago.
But I got so interested, could you mention some of the parties that you were in, festivals that you were like, whoa, this is the real deal too?
Well, the first big experience where I felt like this is the real deal was when I entered Berghain the first time, obviously. It was the last night of a very long New Year's Eve party. And I was alone. I just wanted to dive into it and see what's happening inside. And I went up the stairs and it was like, okay, there's a place where the things are happening.
And then, moving on to where you're at today.
Yeah, I moved to Berlin 7 years ago because I was really fascinated by the city, and I felt like the time has come to move on. And when I moved here, I quit DJing and decided to focus on studying event management to learn the profession of creating, shaping experiences and spaces where you can have the experiences I had. So I wanted to focus on that rather on the music, and was always fascinated by the idea of creating an own festival, actually.
All right. Okay, we're going to speak more about that soon. For now, I want to hear your journey.
I'm from Berlin. I'm Jamor. I was born and raised here. And for me, already as a teenager, it was clear that I'm completely obsessed with music. And then when I was 18 years old, I also started going out in clubs. And that was like back in the day with my friends from school. We went here and there. We checked out many clubs. But then when I was 20, that was like the first time when I went to Berghain, and obviously that was like a very mind-blowing experience. And it was kind of like this aha moment for me when I was like, okay, this sound is like really capturing for me. This environment is like very free and I can totally like be myself here. And this is when I started going out very regularly, usually by myself, meeting a lot of people and feeling very comfortable and like exploring the scene. I was always kind of like quickly like very lineup driven as well. So from the start, I was quite like analytical about like, okay, who's playing, what sound are they delivering, and what's like the whole history of like electronic music, like where does it come from? Like it opened up like this huge horizon where I completely like got into like digging not only like the music but also its origins, and I found it like very fascinating what kind of influences it had, you know, be it disco or electro, where it came from, Detroit, Chicago, Belgium techno, you know, it was like this whole new world that opened up. And that was like really fun to explore. So, as well as like the whole community thing, I feel like going to the club, you kind of um, leave at home what's like bothering you, you really let go, you're yourself, you really lose yourself in the music, and meet so many new people, and everyone is like so friendly, and I sometimes like wish people were outside of the club as well like this, because it's like this very unique environment where people are just very open and nice to one another. I don't know, it's like this very, very special thing going on that sometimes feel a bit surreal, you know, that it's happening there and then outside it's not there. And I feel like, yeah, for many people it's just like a very special place where they can be very honest and genuine and share this love for music and speak this common language that is, you know, the music and the drive behind it. And so I also started collecting records like around like 6 years ago. I was playing with a friend at home, just like jamming, exchanging like music. Oh, I bought this. Have you listened to that? And it kind of led me to working in a record store as well. I worked 4 years at Hardwax, which was a lovely time. It was so much fun. I learned so many things. I met so many great people. Up until very recently, I worked there. Now I'm gonna move on working in a vinyl pressing plant. I'm very looking forward to it. I think it's gonna be really great. The team behind us is like very cool, and they have so many great ideas and a very fresh approach to like the whole pressing scene, like vinyl pressing scene. I'm gonna start working there in July, and I'm very looking forward to that. Yeah.
Yeah, and, and you are only 2 people behind Good2U Festival, but you're a whole team. Could you, because the festival is taking place for the first time officially this August 20. What's the date?
From the 18th till the 21st of August.
18th
it's the third week of August.
Yeah. Could you tell us a little bit more about the team behind the festival and how you got together and like the drive behind it?
Yeah, how did it all start? When I studied event management, I met a bunch of friends. Tom was one of them, and so we spent a couple of nice years together. I joined their crew, set in motion. We were hosting parties in Berlin for a couple of years, and then there came the pandemic. And suddenly there was no reason anymore to push a project that is delivering parties. There was no space anymore for this. So since we were not big fans of doing a live stream, because electronic music is made for the dance floor, not for sitting in front of your computer and listening to it, we stopped this project. And there was this one year during the pandemic, I think it was summer 21, when a bunch of our friends started a new festival. It was when everything opened up again, but the clubs were still closed. So you were able to meet people again until a certain limit or amount of people, but you were not able to go to the clubs. So this festival was a nice, like, wow, let's go there. Our crew was booked for a showcase, and many of our friends got tickets, and we're so much looking forward to finally getting back together again. And then a couple of weeks before, there were some struggles with the landlord, and the whole thing got cancelled. And everybody was like, no, we need to get together. We want to dance. We want to see each other. And that was the point when everybody was asking for an alternative to this plan. So we decided to make a plan B. We rented an old hotel in not too far from Berlin. Brought in a huge PA, nice food, many bottles of sect, some lights, invited all our friends that had tickets for the festival, and just had an insane weekend together. And this is actually how it all started in the very beginning. We continued that the year after, gave it the name Good2U, and the feedback was insane. Everybody just loved it. It was a slightly bigger edition with only 100 people. And after that, we were thinking about what should we do with this happening next year. And that was the point when Tom and I said, let's make a festival concept out of it. Let's go all in. Let's go part-time in our day jobs. Let's make a nice concept for a new festival. And this was actually how everything started. But as you said, Good2U is not only about one or two individuals kicking the project off. It's a very sweet team behind all of this, because after this point, all our friends and network came in. Leon bumped in, writing all our texts and really shaping our style of communication. Alex doing all of our design. And we've been working together since many years. And there was this one day when Tom told me, hey, I met this person last year sharing the exact identical musical vision as I do. And this person is right now sitting next to me. Gemur came into place. And they curated an insane booking together. And right after that, Dominic came in, creating an insane, super sweet awareness concept, bringing all his expertise to the table as a host of the Black, Brown, Queer podcast, putting non-white, queer perspectives to the front. And just recently, another friend, Fee, came into place. She's working as a set designer in the film industry, making sure that the look and feel of the whole festival on the dance floors and everywhere between is inviting for the people. We want to create a nice place, like you said, Good2U. There's an idea behind this name. And we also get great support from many other people in our network. There's this insane light crew, been in the business for years, creating this really nice light concept for our dance floors and all the spaces between. Also, music is a big part of the whole game. There are some really enthusiastic people behind the team of Horner Audio that we're collaborating with, bringing their custom-made sound system to all our 3 floors. And besides them, many friends in our network are giving us advice, feedback, and bringing their skills to the table when it comes to this project. So that's basically what's behind Good2U. It's a huge team, many very passionate people working together and making this happen in the first year.
Amazing. I think it's so obvious that you are music nerds, like you're very good with this part, because that's not something you can take for granted within the electronic music scene, where so many people who are interested but not as knowledged. And that's also something that you talk about, that you're working against the current trends of booking, headliners and well-known names. But you want to tell us a little bit more about that?
So Tom and I were doing the booking, and from the very start it was very clear that we're very much on the same page regarding several topics. One, for instance, is that we don't just book people because they're like trending at the moment, but rather listen to our gut feeling and our own taste to be like, okay, I think these fit really sound-wise to the program, yes or no. And I feel like when you look at some festival lineups or club lineups, it kind of nowadays gives like this copy paste kind of mentality, and we don't want to just like do what everyone else is doing, but rather just have, especially with the location where it is, and you know, with all the surrounding areas it has, to bring like this very unique feeling to it. So we are not against booking headliners. On the contrary, like we have some really dope people like King, Okazon, Fadi Muhem, which I think are pretty big names, and they're very looking forward to playing Good2U. It's very heartwarming to get this feedback from them as well. But I think it's all about like finding the balance, you know, not to just have like the headliners, but also to bring in people from the local scenes, you know, from the areas around the Good2U Festival, let's say Leipzig or Dresden, you know, Berlin. We also have one act from Görlitz we're really excited about, who's like going to open the festival for us, which is going to be very special. And it's all about the balance, as I said, with like newer talents, which bring a very unique selection, authentic vibe, as well as people who are very long in the scene and are very experienced selectors who have done a lot of work during their career in shaping the scene that it is today now.
And you are already very trusted. It's something that we spoke about just when you arrived here, that you are like so thankful that you are so trusted. But I mean, it's also because of your backgrounds. People know that you know what you're doing.
I think we're quite well connected with many people. I mean, Tom works at Paloma Bar, for instance. We are all love to go clubbing. Like, we are very experienced ravers, you know, that's no issue. So with years, we, I think, made very genuine connections with many people. We know a lot of people who play at the festival on a personal level as well. So it's kind of like already kind of like inviting friends and family, you know, it's a very special thing. And I'm very grateful for that, because it doesn't feel like force or anything. It was just like during, I don't know, like many years, you get to know those amazing people, and then projects come up and you're like, oh, you would fit into this, and maybe let's do this collaboration. And it's very fluid, I think, and we're very happy how it's like perceived, and that the people are very curious to see what's going to happen at Good2U, because I think it's going to be like a one-of-a-kind experience. Especially also when we have like we did like this very intentional decision to have 3 floors. So I don't know, I think we all agree that when you're at a festival and there's like 10 different stages, you're just like running around, it's like very tedious, it gets like very tiring. And I personally always prefer when it's a smaller amount of stages, but very well curated, and everything kind of like fits together, but brings enough diversity. And so we have like one outdoor floor for like the beautiful summer open air vibes during the day. And then during the night, we have like these 2 indoor floors inside this super sick warehouse. I mean, if you see it, you will be like blown away. So during the night, you kind of have like this clubby feeling. And it's gonna be, I think, really lush, because sometimes at festivals it can get very, very cold at night. And in this kind of setup we have, you can enjoy like the summer vibes during the day, and then sweaty, clubby feeling inside this amazing warehouse. So I think that's also very, very unique to what we bring to the table.
Yeah, you're already on the topic, but this location, like, it's 2.5 hours outside of Berlin, right? And was it like 2 hours outside of Dresden? Or no?
I don't have like the numbers exactly.
Anyways, it's close. You can go there by train.
You can go there from the nearby cities. It's only 2 to 3 hours, and the train station is right in front of our door. So.
Perfect. But I want to hear more about the location. Like, how did you find it? What's the magic?
It was actually really hard to find the perfect location fitting to our concepts, because we didn't just want to find some meadows in the woods where you can set up a festival and do something that's kind of copy and paste what you said before in terms of booking curation. We were proactively scouting. We were looking for uncommon venues initiatives for venues with on-site accommodation options, for venues where you would not really expect a festival to happen. And we're taking a look at many places, and it was also really important for us to identify with the people behind these places, because they need to be totally fine with what will happen there. And then a friend of mine, Ella, recommended me to take a look at a place in Saxony where she was from. And yeah, that's how we found the venue for our festival. We took a look at it and just looked insane, and we were like, okay, we want to go there, we want to meet the people, we want to see it live. And we did some research about the place and the people behind the project before we went there, and they found this place in 2006, I think, when they were climbing through the fence looking for a location for a rave, and that was exactly the spirit we were looking for. So we knew it would be a nice idea to go there.
What a crazy story.
I mean, it was like this abandoned place for a long time.
Yes, and they somehow made it possible to set up a project there with the help of the owner of the venue, and they now have it as a campsite over the year, and run it as a social cultural center, having concerts, workshops there and everything. And yeah, we decided to check it out.
Yeah. And you are, I feel that you're all who are behind this project somehow fighting for diversity and lifting smaller acts, and finding the gems that maybe are not like, they are not very seen all the time by the mainstream eyes. Do you have any scares for the electronic music scene in general, and any hopes for it, would you say?
I mean, you can see that it all changed a lot within the last couple of years, starting with the pandemic probably, and maybe even some trends that somehow came even before that. I personally feel like that for some festivals, parties, places, or whatever, the economic pressure got bigger. Also, I feel like it's more and more about bigger lineups, bigger names, scaling things up, like making things just bigger. And I fear that this could lead to a loss of authenticity, a loss of values in the club culture, and a loss of intimate and personal spaces where people can come together. And that's something I'm currently seeing in the scene. Like people are really missing this intimate vibe, I feel, in many places or with many experiences.
I mean, that social media thing, I think, is very obvious to many of us, that there are very strong trends going on through social media. There was this younger generation of ravers that couldn't go dancing for many, many years, and that only had social media and platforms as like streaming platforms as the only thing that kind of like connected them to like club culture, besides like the music itself. And that, I think, delivered like a certain set of values that is not always like fit to reality, because what happens in the club is also very different than what is like staged on a platform. And I think it will take some time, but I also feel like we're kind of like slowly getting in there to maybe going a little bit back to the roots, and shaping the scene in a way that it becomes a bit more authentic. And I think Good2U meets a lot of those needs, where it's not just, as we talked about, like those big things that are just like grabbing your attention. It's like, oh, okay, big names, sponsors, but it's more like about
we're losing real moments, real parties, and real experiences where everybody's just can be themselves. And I think that comes from that point that many people didn't have access to club culture for 2 years. It was just shut down, and I think it takes a while until things get back to that where they have been before, because club culture is about sharing values, giving them to each other. And how should you learn about these things if you cannot enter places or spaces where these values can be shared? So
Yeah, exactly. Do you have any more, like, obviously what you are creating with Good2U Festival is that you are the change you want to see. Do you have any more ideas on what other people could do to like prevent this from happening?
I feel like, as we said, like social media changed a lot, and I think many people that explore the scene have like a lot of expectations. They think, oh, I seen it like this, so it's gonna be like that. And I think people should be like a bit more like open-minded and trust the adventure, because for me, clubbing is always so adventurous. I like to really leave my phone at the wardrobe and just wander around and just let go in the process, go with the flow, and trust my like instincts. And oh, if I like it here, I'm gonna stay here and really enjoy it. And then I talk to like strangers, meet a lot of new people, and I think people need to like rekindle this almost childlike curiosity to explore the scene, to be open to music, to sometimes leave too many expectations sometimes like limit you as well. And I think club culture for me was just like such an expansion for like my mind and like my development as a person. Like I've learned so much from it. For me, it's not just about like, okay, I'm going there to dance and to drink and then I go home. No, it really shapes me like as a person. I think you have to be open to that, to exchange,
Obviously, the people who go to the festival are going to discover so much great and many times new music for a lot of people. That's what I feel that I'm going to do, at least. But what more do you feel that you're bringing to an already huge, like there's so many festivals? What are you bringing besides that, would you say?
Well, I would say a big part of the character of Good2U is already this very new and uncommon venue. The blend of festival experience during the day and the best out of the world of the club experiences during the night, melting together in this beautiful place, surrounded by nature. I mean, the scenery of such a happening is also having a very big influence on how you feel. I would say we're bringing a very new, very personal, intimate family vibe festival. A small size festival where you will probably know each other after 3 days of partying together. And all this comes together in a really beautiful venue. I mean, the architecture is not only impressing from the outside, but also from the inside. You will see once you see the indoor floor. And this whole blend of GDR style, industrial architecture, the beautiful nature around, all these passionate and lovely people working together in this project. I always feel like this is something the guests in the end really feels when so many passionate individuals are really creating something special for everybody in the team. And
this is also exactly what's in the name. It's like what I feel the whole core value is, that we are in this together. Like, let's create it together. We're co-creators of this moment.
I think it's going to be so wholesome, because whenever we show people the project, show the location, everyone is just getting like sparkly eyes, some jaws are dropping for sure, and people just immediately like get the visions, get the goosebumps. So for many people, I think it's like, wow, this can be so magical, and it's not just going to be like this one party. I think this can like develop into this very beautiful thing where people always like tend to come back. Also, we have like quite a few DJs, like artists playing. They're like, well, actually, I want to stay for the whole weekend. You know, like many people are like so excited for it to happen. And for me, also, like, I'm not, always like keen about like camping and everything, but with Good2U, it's like a total different experience. So we have like those camping areas in the shade. You have like proper toilets. We have no Dixie toilets whatsoever.
Free water. Hey! It's not to be taken for granted.
Yeah, you can.
In my experience, I've been to some
Yes.
festivals
Yeah.
where we couldn't find water,
I know.
and we had to buy it, but we couldn't charge our bracelets. Like I didn't manage to charge mine, so I had to like organize it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is huge.
Yeah, we have like running water and everything. Also, like the energy for us is so much more eco-friendlier than with other festivals in comparison, because the infrastructure of the location is so great. We don't need any big generators or anything like that, because everything is already like linked and it's like green energy. So there's, I think, in comparison to other festivals, we have a relatively small, like how do you say, imprint? Eco print?
Yeah.
Footstep?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Footprint.
Footprint.
We got it.
We got it together. And it's like it's very comfortable, you know. You get there, you arrive there at the train station, it's just 5 minutes, you don't need like an extra shuttle or anything. I think it's like the perfect festival for people who are young, people who are a little bit like mature, more experienced. I think it just gives like the perfect setting. And then Tom and I, we had so much fun doing the booking, creating the running order. Like we cannot wait to see Comet alive and people to experience it, because I believe that everyone will come there and it will have like those
I'm
sparkly
so
eyes.
excited.
Yeah.
And also what you said, like if you see the ticket price, it's a normal festival ticket price, more or less. It's the things that are connected to that are so well taken care of, like how you get to the place, that the camping is free, the water is free, you can bring your own alcohol or like beverages, not glass bottles, but you know, all these things that you are like, you've been thinking about that, and you don't want to have like this big commercial things, but it's like, feels like the whole goal is to create a space where people can like, that people can actually be part of, where people can like, it's accessible.
So you have to be a part of it. The whole thing just works with the right people on site. So we hope to make an offer for the right people to join us for this weekend and join the journey over these 3 nights and be part of it. That's a big thing, or a big part of Good2U. It's you actually, and you and us, and creating this experience all together. And yeah, we hope to set the right environment for all of this.
We are not doing this because we want to get rich or anything like that. We do it because we're so passionate about it, and we're like quite chill. We don't have any sponsoring or anything at all. We kind of want to just have like this beautiful playground where people can relax, they have a good time, they just enjoy it, you know. And in the end of the day, we just do it because we want to enjoy it and we want other people to enjoy it.
What are you most looking forward to this year's festival?
Wow, I really can't wait for the very first track to be played.
It's
the
kicking
very
it
last.
And I really can't wait to see all those new faces I haven't known before. So many strangers coming together, fitting our vibe or whatever we're radiating to them. All our friends and network finally coming together, working remotely from wherever, doing concerts, creating this whole festival right now, working day and night, and coming together with them on site and see together what's happening, what we're creating together, and just see all the people enjoying themselves in a safer space and having a nice time over a couple of days and going back home with good memories for the weekend, and hopefully many nice new impressions and inspirations music-wise, because music is a big focus, and I really can't wait to see all those super interesting DJ sets.
Yeah, I'm also just very much looking forward to everything just come to life, because now everything is in theory. We're like planning, putting so much like love in it. And I think once it's like starts, it becomes like this thing that comes alive, and you can see the reaction of the people and how everything is working. And it's also going to be a learning process for sure, because it's like the first time we're doing this. But I really trust in the process, because everyone involved, from the security over the bar to the light, they all share the same values. And I think it's very important that we're all on the same boat, and everyone can just like let go, enjoy, and take part in this musical journey where they meet many new people and experience new things and see this Good2U venue for the very first time and for the next years to come, you know? It's like the start, I think, for a very nice journey.